I told you my sister Farida Buzorgi, she's my sister who was a teacher in the school. My son, when we came, he was standing at the gate and he was crying and screaming, "You forgot me in the school."
Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new season of MCET podcast. And today we restart Teacher Talk on this season with someone very special. She's been an integral part of our development, especially in our early years, and we can attribute all the good learnings that we imbibe in our school to her, and of course, her team of primary teachers. So today we welcome to you the supervisor of primary school, Mrs. Afsaneh Randeria. And
Thank
yeah,
you
she's
so
been
much.
here with us for
Thank you
three
so much.
decades. And thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you
And
so
the
much,
stage
ma'am,
is
for
all
joining
yours,
us.
You
ma'am.
make me feel so special today. I love it. Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to the questions.
So, starting off, we'd like to talk a little bit about your education. So, can you tell us where you studied and what were your favorite subjects growing up?
All right. My education, of course, I can tell you a lot about it. I went to a convent school. The name of my school was Canosa Convent at Mahim. It's still there. And when I pass my school, sometimes during the traffic jams, I take a shortcut through the lane and I see my school and I get scared. I say, "Oh God, that is my school." I still get scared of I'm in awe like my school. I still get scared. Can you believe it?
Ma'am,
Because,
why do you get scared, but
pardon?
why do you get scared?
Yeah, because something, when I was a child in the pre-primary especially, I used to hate going to school. I used to cry a lot. And my father used to just take me in the car and dump me in the gates. And I remember my pre-primary teacher, because those years are very, that's why I'm telling you this, pre-primary years are very important. I remember a teacher, I don't remember her name, but I remember her face and her figure. She used to come and pull me inside the school. And it used to be a rainy day always because school is starting the rainy season. And I used to go sobbing to class. And I hated those days, and I can feel it. So when my children come to school sobbing, I can relate with them because I can feel I'm in their mind, and I can feel those feelings that they have. The fear of a teacher and the classroom, which looks like a jail. And my mother used to always tell me that, because you hated pre-primary so much, God has put you in the pre-primary. That's your punishment. And now I love coming to school. Manikji Cooper is my favorite place. And as a student, I can tell you I was an average student. And another thing, after finishing my school, that is past my 12th, and then I went to London to do I wanted to become a secretary. So I went to London to do my Pitmans in London for 2 years. I stayed there for 2 years, and then I came back to India and wanted to become a secretary. And somehow or the other, I said, let's do something else. I was doing painting and doing lots of hobby classes. I joined, doing nothing, just wasting time. Can you believe it? And then I just joined a pre-primary training class to learn how, I like children basically. And then I got a job in the school and I've been there ever since. And I wish I had gone to London, done my, instead of Pitmans, I had done my teacher's training. I would have been a better teacher, I think. I never thought of it at that time. I was too young. When I came back, I realized I like children. And I never worked as a secretary. The certificate is lying in my cupboard. But the small certificate I got from my nursery training, teacher's training, I've used that a lot. And here I am.
Now, I think all the students from the last 33 years at school would be glad you didn't become a secretary and you chose to teach.
Yeah.
I never got a thought of it after.
But what's the difference between the students back then and now?
They have learned everything before because technology is teaching them a lot, In our days, we never had all that. So for whatever teacher says was like, oh God, something new. Eyes used to open up and something different. But now nothing is new for the children. They're all used to so many things because of technology. That's the only difference I find.
That's true.
Ma'am, were you interested in extracurricular activities back in your school days?
In school, extracurricular, I used to play a lot, but that was not extracurricular, I would say. But I used to take a part in a lot of painting competitions. I was very good in painting, creativity. So I used to take part in all Camlin competitions. In those days, Camlin was very famous. Now we have different names, foreign names. At that time, Camlin was very famous. So I've taken part in many art competitions from school where I have won certificates and awards. And I even
Oh,
took
that's
part
great.
in some Nehru competition, inter-school, where I got a bronze medal, which I feel very proud about. And I still show it to my husband sometimes. I got a bronze medal certificate, which is how many years. All India's
That's
art
so sweet.
competition. I
Oh,
was good
that's
in
so
art.
Oh,
great.
nice.
That's so great.
Even now in my spare time, I do painting. And you won't believe it. I have done so many oil painting on canvas and I've given to my relatives. So when I go to their houses, I see my painting on, they have kept it, of course, not that they were just to make me feel good, but because they are good. So when I go to my relatives' homes and I see my painting on their wall, I feel very proud. So that's something I'm going to do after I retire. When in my old age,
Oh, nice.
but I'm
Uh,
not young anymore. I'll be doing it in my old age. That's what I'm waiting for. I
and
do
there are a few
painting
years
for
left for that.
canvas.
Yeah, a lot of years
Pardon?
left for that.
And
There are a lot of
there
years
are
left for
there
that.
are a lot of years left for that. Yes, ma'am.
I hope I get time to do it.
So, ma'am, my next question to you would be: so you covered that you really like painting and you entered Camlin competitions when you were a child. But like, what other hobbies did you have outside of school?
Now, in those days, the only hobby was playing around and troubling my mother. But if you ask me now, I like reading. I like to read novels, especially Leon Urisca novels. I like to read. They're thick novels, but I can read them pretty well.
Mm.
Then I like cooking. You can see from my side. I love eating. I love traveling, and I love making. I love baking. This is what I do a lot now. In my free time, I make
Oh, wow.
chocolates only for the house. I've got so many people who eat chocolates, so it's better to not professionally, but only for the house. I experiment with chocolates, and all turns out, and then the tray is empty. So that means the experiment has been good. I know that when the tray is empty. So I do a lot of baking and cooking at home just now in my free time, especially just now in the lockdown. And yeah, my husband, everybody in the house is putting on weight because of that.
And while growing up, who was your inspiration, ma'am?
Okay, I could say when I was a kid, I used to love playing like at home. We are seven sisters, we are seven sisters, and we had lots of neighbors around. So my sisters were of course older than me. I'm the youngest in the family, so I used to get scolded the most because I was the youngest. I told you my sister Farida Buzorgi. She's my sister who was a teacher in the school.
Oh,
She's
wow.
Wow.
Buzorgi. I'm sure you
Didn't know
know her.
that.
The
Didn't
one
know
who
that
gave
at all.
Shashwat the first remark.
Yes, ma'am.
She's very strict. So she used to teach me at home, because I was
Oh,
very tiny and naughty and I hated lessons. So, as I told you, I hated school. So she used to sit with me and teach me THE the and THE the and the would not go in my mind. And you won't believe it, just now when I teach my higher KG students spelling of THE the, I know how to teach them the spelling of THE the without making them feel unhappy. Because I have gone through that stage. So my class knows THE the very well because I teach them in a playful way without stress. That's a very important word, THE, the. Might
yes,
not be
ma'am.
important to you just now. It's a very difficult word for babies. All right? My sister was an inspiration, I would say, because when she was doing her teacher's training, I was very young. And she used to prepare her lessons and all. I used to always wonder, lovely. She's taking the ruler, she's taking charts and everything. And we used to go and drop her to different schools for her lessons. So I think she's my inspiration, I would say. And as a child, I used to play games. Often I used to become a teacher and scold all my friends with a ruler, which we can't use anymore in school.
Yes,
As kids, we play with a ruler.
yes, ma'am.
Thank someone, not answering,
Uh,
which we can't do in school at all. We can't touch the ruler
how
or a
times
scale.
change.
The names have changed, scale or ruler, whatever you want.
No, ma'am, both are fine.
What is something that is surprised to find?
What the children were surprised to find about me. I'll tell you something, when I'm in school, I'm very talkative, I'm very happy. Of course, I'm happy all the time. But when I come home, I become a little serious. I don't talk much. Like, for example, I'll tell you something. In school, I tell my class stories every day. All right. I make my own stories. I love making stories of my own. On the spot, you can ask me for a story, I'll tell you a lovely story. On the spot, I can make it. But my class was very happy when I tell them stories, all right? When I used to come home, I had my son who was the same age when he was young, of course. And I have never told him a single story at home. So he's always telling Mummy, and when he passed my class, he used to see me telling stories. But I never told him a single story. I tell him, your teacher will tell you in your class. So I'm at home, I used to be very serious, like, studies. So that would be different about me. In school, I'm totally different. At home, I'm a little serious.
Oh, okay.
So because I got children in front of me, just I'm very happy.
Oh, I think everyone will be really
I don't
surprised.
talk much at home. I keep quiet because I save all my energy for school.
Yeah, that is really surprising for us to. Yes, ma'am. But ma'am, we spoke about your school at such depth and about what you wanted to do. But could you tell us how your first day at Manik Ji Cooper was all those years back?
33 years back, first day at Manekji, I went straight to Beechcraft. My class was at Beechcraft. You all know why Beechcraft is, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now
Of
Beechcraft
course,
has
of
become a
course.
nursery school. We have started nursery school over there, Little Coopers. You know that, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful school. You must come and see Little Coopers. Beautiful. But but before we had higher KG at Beechcraft.
Okay.
So when I came to Manekji, I went straight to Beechcraft, and I was so surprised at what a funny class. This is a house on top, and the class is open, and the children, like 100 children making noise, 2 divisions over there, no partition. And I felt very odd. But I don't remember much of that first day of school. It was a normal day. But I remember the first day of school as being when I joined school I started school in 1988, okay, at Beechcraft as a teacher. But in 87, I joined school for 1 month as a substitute teacher. A teacher had gone for a honeymoon in the 3rd standard, so there was a vacancy. So when I applied for a job, they asked me to work for 1 month in the 3rd standard. All right? So I said, okay, I don't mind going. Let me see how the school is, atmosphere. I was happy for 1 month. When I entered the classroom, my class was the junior school hall. You go up the wooden staircase, the long
Yes,
class
ma'am.
in the middle with the
Yes, ma'am.
balconies. Anybody can jump down. That was my class. I entered the class and the children, I was very young and thin and slim and very sweet. I didn't shout much at that time. I still don't, of course.
Yeah.
When I went in the class, those 3rd standard boys and girls who were like 8 years and 9 years old, they saw this young teacher standing in the class and scared. I was scared. They were just running around playing catch and cook in the class. Nobody would listen to me. I'm shouting. The Baba was, please sit down. Let's say our prayers. Nobody would listen. They would only run. And I still remember those children. Can you believe? I remember a few children from those years. I've been their friend on Facebook. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
Yes, they remember me.
Oh, wow.
It
Oh,
troubled
wow.
me so much on the first day. And Shammi Balse was in the next class. The other class, the 2 classes joining the middle class.
Oh.
So she came out and scolded my class. Children, your teacher is so sweet. You're troubling her. Please sit down. And she made them sit down. Can you believe it? And after they sat, because they were scared of Shammi next door, they would listen to me. My first month was such a horrible. Like I said, I'll never work in the primary because it was not standard. I was trained for pre-primary, but I just came a substitute teacher, and that first day I remember. But my pre-primary first day was pretty good.
I'm sure a bunch of your kids must have called you mom instead of ma'am.
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
Many times. Yeah. That feeling is really good.
Of
And I
course.
always tell the children that you all have 2 mummies. One mummy at home, one mummy in school. So never get scared if you want to go to the toilet, if you want to drink water, if you're hurt. You just come to teacher and hug mummy. Teacher is your mummy in school. So they have 2 mummies, one at home and one in school.
Yeah.
So that's the only comfort thing we can tell them, because the hugs that we give them is very important. The child should never get scared of the teacher at that level.
That's right. Now we've always felt that way.
Pardon?
Yeah.
We've always felt that way.
Yes, we should always feel the mummy in school also.
So, ma'am, if you had to attend the class of any teacher, which teacher would it be?
I do something I had to attend. I was a supervisor. I attend all the teachers' classes of the primary. But if I had to attend a class, I tell you whose class I would attend. I would attend Jessica ma'am's class. because her geography, she's so good in geography. Like when my Sharam was young, I used to send him for topo and all that. So she's like, no knowledge, her geography is filled in her head. So if I had to go for a lesson, I would surely go to geography for a geography lesson by Jessica Daruwala and a bio lesson by Mrs. Gandevia. You won't believe it.
Sure.
When she had a workshop in school, although I'm a pre-primary teacher, I should go and sit for the workshop. Can you believe it? With other teachers, just to hear a lesson, because you learn so much. Such a fun way, bio.
Yeah.
Which is, I like bio. I remember she was my teacher in school. Maybe I would have taken up science. Bio explanation is excellent. And Jessica's geography, the meanders and the lakes and the soil and everything. Such lovely notes she used to give my son. I'm sure you all also have those notes. She's full of geography, you know, her knowledge is so good.
Ma'am.
So I would like to
Yes,
attend these two classes.
So, ma'am, what is the one frustrating thing about being a teacher? And what is the goofiest thing that one of your children has done?
Frustrating thing I think is, you know, when the children all have different needs. Our babies, when they're small, they all have different, each child is different. No two children are the same, according to me.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes, you know, some children have some different, you know, habits or some behaviors. And when we discuss it with the parents don't accept it. You know, I want the parents to be open. They have to tell us how the child is at home. Sometimes they hide things. But if there's there's open dialogue between the parent and the teacher, the child can be helped in so many ways. You know, some parents don't want to come forward. They keep quiet. My child is perfect. Something is wrong with the school. You know, teacher is not teaching. But then that child suffers because as he grows up, he's not identified whatever the problem is, and the child suffers. And when he grows up, and then of course you go for this therapy and that remedy classes and all that. But when they're small, if the parents themselves come forward and talk to us about the children's needs, especially social needs at home, how the child is behaving, you know, we can help the children. So that is frustrating, you know, because all children are not the same. And there are a few children every year who need special help at that stage from the teacher and the parent. I'm not talking about outside. That when they grow up, they need outside help. So to understand the child behavior, we need parents' cooperation also, which we don't get all the time. And that is frustrating, according to me. So when you all become parents, remember, don't compare your child to your neighbor's child or your siblings. Think about each child is different and why he's different. So at that age, we can help them, you know, by loving them more, by changing our behavior, our attitude with them, how to treat them, not just treating them all in the same way. That is important. That is frustrating, according to me.
And ma'am, what is the goofiest thing that has happened in your time?
I tell you one goofiest thing I have done.
Sure, ma'am.
I tell you, when my son was in the third or fourth standard, and we were supposed to go home, right? Bell rang, everybody went home. And always one or two parents, those who stay close by, they come to pick up their children late. So my class, there was one boy, I know his name also, I will not say it. He used to stay just 3 buildings away from our school. And the mother used to always come late to pick him up because he was close by. Why should she come early? She used to wear her come late. Now, the old supervisor, Treaty Miss, I don't know whether you all remember her, Treaty Randeria. No, I don't think she was there when you all were there. Yeah, I had an old supervisor, and before me, that is, in the pre-primary. So we both live in Dadar, same locality. So we were waiting to go home, but this child was waiting with us, so we had to wait with him. So I was holding the child's bag and holding his hand and water bottle and waiting at the gate near the watchman for the mother to come. And in the meantime, my son became restless. He was jumping. I said, we'll go and play at the back in the basketball court. Then you come because he was troubling us. So he went to play in the basketball court. Then this mother calls me up, teacher, I cannot come. Can you please drop him on the way home? He's just 3 buildings away. Let's drop him. So we called the rickshaw. We put the child in, bag, bottle, and both of us jumped in. And the rickshaw started. And we dropped the child home. Mother was waiting down. She said sorry and all that. We gave the child to her, with a bag and everything. And then we both sat down, we were going on our way. We reached us SNDT school, and then we realized something is missing. We realized something was missing in the rickshaw because that child was there. We didn't realize because he was there next to us. But when the child got down, we realized the rickshaw was empty and something was missing. Then we realized, oh, Sharon is in school. We had to turn the rickshaw and the rickshaw to go right till the end to the police station and again take a turn because of going U-turn from the middle.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So we had took some time to come there. And my son, when we came, he was standing at the gate and he was crying and screaming, "You forgot me in the school." This is one incident. He still remembers that day. I asked him. I first thought of this incident. So I said, let me see whether he remembers. So I just asked him, what is the silliest thing I have done in school? You left me back and you forgot about me. I said, he remembers that.
Oh,
Because
Oh my God. Oh my God.
you take care of other people's children, you forget your own.